This is my storm chase vehicle, and I figured I'd go over a few things on what I believe makes a good storm chase vehicle. The first thing I figured I'd do is just do a walk around the vehicle so you can get a good look at it. A Dodge Ram 1-ton diesel, turbo diesel. Now I know you Dodge guys are all cheering, and in 2005 when I bought the truck, this is what I believed was the best pickup truck available. However, if I was to do this over again today, I think I'd get a Ford heavy-duty 1-ton diesel. So that shows that I'm not loyal to any particular brand. However, I do insist it be an American design vehicle. Alright, now let's go over some of the things that I believe are good to have with your storm chase vehicle. Alright, here we are inside the truck, and I'm in the back seat so we can get everything in view here. Now let's go over some of the communications equipment we have in the storm chase vehicle. First, down below here is a digital police scanner, trunking police scanner from Radio Shack. They don't make this brand anymore, but the closest thing to it now would be a GREE PSR 600, and I use that mainly for weather alerts and monitoring the public safety bands. Next over here, that's H.D broadcast radio. With H.D you get lots of extra channels that you can't normally get through the regular AM/FM broadcast bands, but it's pretty much restricted to big cities because not every station has HD. Our next radio over is dual band 2-meter 440 ham radio. It's an ICOM 208H, and it is Mars cap modified, so I can also talk on the FRS and GMRS bands. And next over we have Sirius XM satellite radio. Most of this stuff is aftermarket because when the truck was built the stuff wasn't standard equipment. And my mic for the ham radio up on the dashboard there. Whoop, we have a TomTom GPS system. We have our LifeHammer that pops out like this, and it's got a hammer here for breaking the windshield or the side windows. If you ever find yourself in a flood or flash flood and your electronics short out, you may not be able to get out, especially if you're upside down. It's also got a seatbelt cutter here. If you're in an accident, I wouldn't be without this. Another thing that's a good idea to have is a good pair of binoculars. I keep mine on the seat here, but they make it a lot easier to determine whether that wall cloud is rotating or non-rotating. Then some of the other radios we have here. Here is a Uniden HR2510. It's a Mars capped 10-meter HF rig, and it will also cover the CB bands. But of course on CB we only run legal power limits. And everybody says, yeah, right. Over here we have a a Linko 220 band radio. So I have all the frequencies pretty well covered. One more in the back up here on the roof, DVD player. And when you're sitting there waiting for some storm development or on the way to a storm, it's always nice to review. I happen to like Storm Structure 101 by Mike Hollingshead. I think that is one of the best, most educational storm spotting and storm chasing videos out there. And of course, we can't go anywhere without the iPad. And of course, we have our weather apps on here. So we can monitor what's up. Okay, here we have my mobile antenna farm. And let's go over all the antennas. First of all, in the front here, we have a Comet CA2X4 SR. SR stands for Search and Rescue. It's an extremely broad-banded, high-gain antenna that covers 2 meters and 440 primarily, but it also will tune up very well on the GMRS and FRS bands and even the 220 band. This antenna got a 4.8 out of 5 rating on eham.net. Then here we have the anemometer. I don't normally keep this on all the time. I just stick it up when I'm going to go on a chase, and otherwise I keep it put away. And this one I really like. It's digital, and it's produced by InSpeed. Then we have a Sho-Me LED utility light. Next we have a Wilson 1000. This tunes up good for ham radio 10 meters and CB. So I can talk to a trucker or two if I need to get road conditions out in the middle of nowhere or traffic reports. Next, we have a Comet SSB 224, and that antenna I use for the 220 band. I ran out of space on the roof, so I had to makeshift something on the toolbox here. And then on the other side is the scanner antenna. It's a wideband antenna. It covers the 30 megahertz all the way up to 1.3 gigahertz continuously, and it seems to have about the best receive of any scanner antenna I've ever bought. And finally, that little newbie there on the box is where my 6-meter antenna goes when I want to hook 6 meters up. And now on the passenger side here, I wanted to show you when I do hook up 6 meters. We can just look down here and see a pair of Anderson power poles. And finally, we'll go over this. This is the little sensor for the InSpeed anemometer that's up on the roof. As I say, that's only hooked in temporarily. For off-road lights here, we have KC Daylighter H.I.D long range, but they're extremely efficient, 600,000 candle power, and they get the job done late at night in the middle of nowhere, or if you're in extreme intense rainfall, I can pull them down towards the ground and light up the white line to help me get to where I'm going, or in intense fog. I'm ready for any kind of weather. Next, we have the Handheld Spotlights. They don't make this one anymore, but this is my favorite. It's by Collins Dynamics. It was 1.5 million candle power. And yeah, I know, they make ones now that say they're 10 million candle power and all that. They lie. This one was a commercial grade. It's waterproof. They said that it's military spec tested. And I bought one of those 10 million, and it wasn't as bright. It's high noon here, bright sunny day, and this thing is still lighting up the garage. This thing will hit a reflective target 10 miles away. And it was advertised to do that to the law enforcement agencies that they wanted to sell to. And being waterproof and everything, this is definitely my choice. My first choice. Too bad they quit making them. It was the longest distance spotlight I had ever tested. Then the next one, which is still available, it's by J.W. Speaker. This is an H.I.D. spotlight. It doesn't have quite this long a range as the Collins Dynamic. However, it sheds a lot more light in a shorter range, as well as with the sharp cutoff. It's excellent if you have really bad conditions like heavy-duty fog or anything like that. Then the next thing I want to cover is when you're on the chase. Sometimes you're going a long ways. That's why I added an aftermarket fuel tank. It starts here. I hope you can see. It starts here and it goes all the way back to the differential back there. That fuel tank holds 56 gallons of diesel. And it's 200 pounds empty, fully loaded at 600 pounds. Well, this baby allows my 8,000 pound diesel truck here to have a range of over 900 miles. Let's see you guys in hybrids and econo cars match that. The next thing I want to cover is visibility. I use Tripledge. Let's see if we can get a good view of this. Tripledge lifetime warranted windshield wipers. They have a multiple little ridges here and then the big blade, and when they windshield wipe, the big blade covers the beginning and then it's real flexible, so a couple of other squeegee blades go too and really clean that rainwater off. And because they're lifetime warranted, if they wear out, you get a free replacement. Now let's cover windshield treatment. A lot of guys will use Rain-X, and a lot of storm spotters and storm chasers prefer Aquapel. Rain-X usually lasts about 30 days and you got to reapply. Aquapel about a year and you got to reapply. I prefer Diamond Fusion, which is nanotechnology. This stuff you put on once and you're good for life. It's the same stuff the military uses on their army tank windshields. They also give you this powder that if you have hard water or stuff, you add this to clean before you add the Diamond Fusion, because once it's applied, it's forever. And then every so often, maybe every 3 years, you want to put on a little rub of the Revitalizer Protector just to keep the diamond fusion up to snuff. This is the applicator you use for the powder, and you just use your regular cloth. It causes a sheeting action, as well as making your windshield a lot slipperier. Therefore, it's dead bugs come off easier, snow and ice doesn't stick as well. Sheeting action in the rain, the faster you go, the better it works, unlike Aquapel and Rain-X, which work best when you're stopped. This actually works better when you're doing 70, 80 miles an hour down the road. Okay, a peek under the hood here to see what how power is generated, and not to show off the turbocharged diesel engine. You will notice here I have dual deep cycle military grade Odyssey marine batteries. These are the same batteries that they use in army tanks. And doggone it, if it's good enough for the U.S. military's army tanks, it's good enough for storm chasing. Along with that, I don't know how well you can see it, but down there we have a commercial grade alternator, 180 amp, same kind they will use in ambulances. If that isn't enough for some of you, they do have dual alternator setups. If for those extra power generations, if you're going to run a 1500 watt HF repeater system from your vehicle. And yes, there are guys that do that, especially on field day. Anyway, getting back to the Odyssey batteries, they're hooked in parallel, and it gives me a combined of about 6 to 6.5 hours of reserve power without a voltage drop with the engine shut off. Okay, well, I took everything out so we could save time. Let's see if I can go through all this without making a mistake. Alright, a lot of this stuff is literature that you want to have. It's good to have if you're a storm chaser or storm spotter. The first one is the kBrews Weather Spotting Frequency List. kBrews maintains a website with the repeater frequencies and Metro SkyWarn or SkyWarn frequency repeaters for all over the country. So here I have a list of all the repeaters, generally within half day's drive of where I live here in Minnesota, and also have a phone list of all family and friends, because you never know when you might break down and you might need them and you don't know their number. We have a cloud chart here. It goes over all the various types of cloud formations and what kind of weather they could mean. We have a reflective vest. This is actually the spare, hasn't been opened yet, because when you're standing out there on the side of the road, you want to be seen. We have an emergency microfiber blanket in case you run across injured people in the storm. Always a good thing to help. And yes, I have a first aid kit back there too, but we won't go into that because they're all pretty much the same. Then we have the basic spotter's field guide. You can usually find these at spotter training seminars and stuff like that. Then we have the advanced spotter's field guide. It's got lots of good information to keep you up to date on the latest stuff to do with severe weather. Then we have the Storm Chasing Handbook by Tim Vasquez. Lots of good information in there. a good read on the side of the road while you're waiting for that tornado to develop. For our power needs that require plug-in, I have a 300 watt pure sine wave inverter. I don't want to wreck any of my equipment with those cheap inverters. SWR and power meter in case the one of the radios starts acting up. You want to try and diagnose what's going on. A little card with all my local SkyWarn repeater frequencies here in the Twin Cities metro area. The repeater directory, so you can plug in the right tones and stuff for your repeater. A valve core repair kit. A good thing to have, because once in a while you blow a valve stem, and I sure wouldn't like to be stuck with a flat in the middle of nowhere. A ruler, just a regular basic ruler for measuring hailstone sizes, and a flat tire safety repair kit. You don't even have to take the tire off the vehicle. You just use this little kit and these little deals here and the lube. This is the same sort of stuff that the repair shops and tow truck companies use. I carry that with me. And as you will see in a moment, I also carry air. Anyway, there's the glove box with all your basics, road maps, flashlight, screwdrivers, WD-40, business cards, all that sort of stuff. Got more maps up there by the windshield, and road atlas, street atlas, and more maps there. What do you need a map for if you have a GPS? Well, I'll tell you, GPSs are great when you're going down the road, and they're great when you're in just a local area. But when you want to plan a trip, you look at your weather charts and you need to plan a trip to go to a certain area. A map is much faster than trying to figure out what to plug into that GPS. Alright, there's more. As you notice, I have a toolbox. Let's open up the toolbox and see what a storm chaser carries with him in his toolbox. Well, I didn't take everything out. Too much in there, but let's go over stuff. We got toe straps. We got a gas can. I think I need a new gas can. We got brake fluid. We got some spare oil. We got a 95-piece tool set that should be both metric and standard. We got emergency roadside triangle kit. And we look inside the toolbox here. I'll prop it open with my foot. We got jumper cables. We got a wire coat hanger. I'll tell you what that's for in a second. We got a bicycle pump. Remember when I talked about repairing your tire on the road? Well, you need air to inflate it. We've got down here a floor jack, making changing the tires very easy. We got a shovel, and I don't care if it's a 4x4. I live in Minnesota. There's tire chains in case I need to put those tire chains on. And this here is a hatchet. I should carry a chainsaw, but sometimes a hatchet will come in handy. So, oh, and as for the coat hanger, that's for damsels in distress. You don't know how many times I run across girls who lock themselves out of their car, and the old wire coat hanger usually can get you back into your car. Alright, a few last minute details and we're done. Here, I had to dig around in the back seat here. I just wanted to show you. We also have fuses, an assortment of fuses. That's always a good thing to carry, and some ropes, spare coaxial cable, and we can't forget recreation. We got frisbees. Gotta have frisbees when you've been driving, you know, 1,200 miles to catch that storm, and you're there early, nothing's happening, you've set up, waiting around. You need a little exercise. And I think that's it. So, I hope this has been informative and maybe given you some ideas of what to carry in your own storm chase vehicle. And with that, we'll say thanks for watching, and until next time.